Hi, this is Gayle with BERNINA of Naperville, and welcome to our August edition of our Kimberbell Society. Now, I do want to give a shout out. You know what August 1st is? It's Swiss National Day, and we forgot to totally do that on our social media today. So, yay, go Swiss, go BERNINA, you know. All right, so this month we're doing something really cute, and it is a reusable snack bag. Now, we are making this tiny little version here. This is, appropriate for some apple slices or some chocolates or, something like that. But there is a larger bag that is also available that you can make that'll hold a sandwich. Now, this uses our BERNINA 6x8 large oval hoop that came with all of your BERNINA embroidery machines from the 5 series up through the 8 series. However, if you do have a taste for the larger bag, you're gonna need at least a maxi hoop to make that one. And you do get both of the files. So this month, I wanna tell you it's a pretty straightforward project, but one of the things that I want you to pay special attention to is, first of all, you know that there is a handout in the description of this video. That's first and foremost. But then secondly, I used a different vinyl than what Kimberbell calls for. So for our lining protection inside our little sandwich bag here, it's a different kind of fusible vinyl. It's one where I peel the paper off, then I fuse it down. But the Kimberbell ones, you keep the paper on, you fuse it to the fabric, what have you. So just make sure that you follow my instructions, because that's what you're getting in the kit that you can order from BERNINA of Naperville. And if you're not familiar with that process, well, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is go to BERNINAofNaperville.com, scroll through our homepage, you'll see our Kimberbell Society right there, and then you can order it. And we don't do it as a monthly subscription here, we do it per project. So you can either get the kit with the file from Kimberbell in one go, or if you've already committed to a subscription somewhere else, all you have to do is get the kit without the design file. So of course, we're going to take you through what happens when you get those design files from Kimberbell in just a moment. But remember, the Kimberbell designs come from Kimberbell, not BERNINA of Naperville, even though that is where you've purchased them. Okay, all right, so let's have a look at what's in your kit this month. All right, you have a really fun project this month. It is a reusable sandwich bag, and this is the 2 pieces that you're gonna need. Now, of course, you're getting enough fabric to be able to make the large hoop, which would be the BERNINA maxi hoop size, or a normal large hoop for the BERNINA, which is 6x8. The red is the lining, and this little grid is the outer piece. So it's a cute little applique with a funny little joke. Why did the apple stop running? He ran out of juice. So there is an apple applique on this piece that's done with the vinyl, and of course you're gonna get that. And then anytime you work with the vinyl, Kimberbell recommends a topper, so you're gonna get a piece of topper. And then, lining this red fabric, well, sometimes if you've got a PB&J or something like that, there's going to be a little juice that comes out in the bag. So there is fusible vinyl. Now this gridded piece here is the paper, and the fusible vinyl is right on here. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to fuse the vinyl onto your red piece. We also have some fusible backing, which is fusible woven or SF101, whatever you want to use. And this is going to go on the back side of what we're embroidering. So we are going to put fusible vinyl on our lining and fusible woven on our embroidered piece. And then finally, what goes in the hoop is a medium cutaway stabilizer. Finally, we're going to need a way to secure our bag so our sandwich doesn't fall out. We're going to use some sew-on vinyl snaps. So normally when you're working with a fusible product like this, you would press it to the back side of the fabric. But when we're working with this fusible vinyl, see it right here? We actually are going to put this on the top because it's the top that we want to have that little wipeable vinyl product. So I have a piece of extra white fabric here on my ironing board because I don't want to get the fusible vinyl on my ironing board, and I also want to protect my fusible vinyl from sticking to the bottom of the iron. So the first thing that I'm going to do is peel my fusible vinyl apart from the paper. And it peels easily even with these fake nails. So you want to take it and carefully kind of roll it, kind of like you would do wallpaper. So I'm going to just line this up right there at the edge of my selvage. Try to keep it as straight as possible. And then just pull it up like this. And I'm using my hands, my fingers, just to get it to stick initially. Now I'm going to carefully turn it upside down, still smoothing it out, and now I'm going to use my iron. And I'm not using steam, and I'm patiently just going back and forth with the grain line. And I'm going to make one pass at this pace, but then I'm going to let it cool down and make another pass. And this is an example of where on my Laura Star, I have a button that blows air up through my board. This is the Smart U Laura Star system. So normally, you press this button to steam and the steam draws through the board. It sucks it through. Well, I want it to blow it up. So I'm going to press this button and see how the board is now bouncy. So now I'm going to go back through another pass and let that cool off. And let the iron cool it off, or my board system. So both of your lining pieces, so we're doing the small lunch bag, is 6x6 and 6x7. And so we're going to cut the same of our lining piece. So I'm going to start with a 7-inch cut. And then I'm going to cut this into 6 inches on both, like square out my piece here. I don't have vinyl all the way to the edge, so I want to trim that. Make sure I've got all the pieces covered in vinyl. And now this is going to be 6 inches. So this is 6x7, and that's the piece that goes with my outer piece. I called this lining by accident. This is the lining, this is the outer. And now this is going to be my 6x6 inch square. And also, let's talk a little bit about fusing that vinyl down. Now, the Kimberbell instructions have you keep the paper on the vinyl and you fuse it vinyl side down. The vinyl that we gave you this month in your kit is best done the way that I showed you just now. So please be mindful of that all vinyl works a little bit differently. So there's my 6x6 and my 6x7. Now we gave you enough stabilizer for the maxi hoop and the large lunch bag, but I don't need all of this. So I'm just going to cut it in half to fit my large oval. So there's some tomfoolery going into this project. So as we do each step, it's important to really pay attention to what we're doing. And I'm saying that for my benefit as well as yours. So here's our threads that we're using this month. We've got 1902, which is a poinsettia red. We have this cute little bright green, 5740. We have black, which is 0020, white, which is 0010, and then just a wee bit of this we're going to use. This is the stem. This is 053, and then finally our green, which is 5324, and we're going to use this not only for the top, but there's one bit where we're going to need to wind just a wee bit of bobbin with this one, and so I'm going to wind a bobbin, and when we come to use this color, we're going to change our bobbin color to the bobbin that I've wound of this. I picked the smaller design, the one that is appropriate for the 6x8" Bernina embroidery large oval hoop, and I'm all set. I assigned my colors like we've done many months in the past, and you can do this right on your machine or you can do it in your embroidery software. So those of you at home, if you're doing our Kimberbell Society for the first time, what I like to do every video is to remind you how you're going to get your Kimberbell files. So let's just have a look at this. So once you purchase your kit from us, you're going to receive a kit in the mail from Bernina of Naperville, but there's a digital downloadable file that comes from Kimberbell. And so what I want to remind you is that this email doesn't say, hey, congratulations, you ordered something from Bernina of Naperville. Here is your design for April. It doesn't say that. It comes from Kimberbell, and it'll say something like, reminder, you have received a digital dealer exclusive product, or it's going to say something like that. So go ahead and click on that, and then you're going to scroll down. And in my case, it says Taco Cord Organizer. Don't get excited. This is just something that I need because we're going to make this one day, right? But you're going to scroll down and you're going to just download now. So I'm going to click that button that says download now. And I download a lot of stuff. You can see all my stuff down here. But I have to create a Kimberbell login and password. But I want you to please note that this Gayle at BERNINAofNaperville.com, I can't use this because this is my business email for them. I'm actually creating an account like you're going to create an account with the email address that you want to receive your files. Whatever email address you've provided Bernina of Naperville, we are going to provide Kimberbell to get your designs. You also have to have a login generated with Kimberbell. So if you need to create an account, if you've never ordered anything from Kimberbell before and that kind of thing, you're going to create a new account by clicking here. And you're going to give your email address, you're going to do a password, confirm the password, and you're going to consent to receive updates and emails if you want, and also text messages if you choose to go that route. Now, if you already have an account with them, like I have a personal account with Kimberbell, you're going to make sure you enter that information in, type in your password, and then log in. And then once you log in, you can see the latest downloads or the oldest and all of that, but we can see the brand new one here is this particular design, and I'm just going to download it. And while it downloads, it's going to download into my downloads folder. It's coming in there, and it comes in zipped. And so once it's downloaded, I can go to my downloads folder, and you can see there's our download folder, and I'm just going to take this and I'm right-clicking to make a copy, and then I'm going to put it in my embroidery designs folder. And I'm going to make a folder here called Kimberbell. And you can put your file wherever you would like to keep it on your computer. And now I'm going to paste this. And now there's my design. Now you'll notice that this folder has a little zipper on it. I can't just use these files. I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to extract. And I'm going to extract it right to this folder. And then what happens is I get another folder that doesn't have a zipper on it. So I'm going to select, once I extract it, and get that regular folder out of there, I'm going to click this zippered folder and delete it. And now I can access this file and get my designs out of there. And once you extract those files, it's easy this month to put them on a USB stick. All you're going to do is put a USB stick in your computer, and you're going to, if you're using a Bernina and you don't want to resize or do anything like that, which we're not, we don't even need to use software, you're just going to take this file, click on it, right click, and you can either send it to your stick or you can make a copy. Then you go down to the USB stick, insert it in your computer, and you're just going to double click it, and you're going to right click and paste. That's what that little icon is there. And you might even want to name this Kimberbell June 2023. And if you don't know how to rename something, you just click and then click again. Don't double click, you just 2 clicks very slowly, and see how that turns blue, and that allows you to write whatever you want to name it. And now they're on my USB stick, and I can take that over to my machine. For color number 1, because it's kind of a neutral color, I'm threading this up with the white. And now we're simply going to stitch. Now, with the instructions, we are going to cut right along this line that just stitched. So I'm going to remove my hoop for that, and I'll use some tiny little scissors. Now this is the end, and they want us to go about 1/2 inch away from the edge there. So I did that, and now I'm going to turn it around and just go this other direction. Perfect. And now we're ready to proceed with our next color change. For color number 2, I'm going to use my thread up command, and that's where I press my needle up down button, the external one on my machine, and it puts the needle down. And it brings the needle up and the foot up so I can pull my threads and hang on to them. Otherwise, I can get a little bit of a car crash with this. Now that we're ready, we press the start button again, and now we can finish. And then color number 2 is the front bag placement line. So we're going to take this bag front, and this is our 6 by 6 inch piece of our outer fabric, and we're going to line this up so that let's get in there, so that it overlaps that slit we created. So let's lay that right on top, nice and straight. And then use some of our expert tape and place our bag into position. Now with color number 3, we're going to stitch this into place. And you know, I do like to use my thread up command when I'm getting started on pieces like this. And then sometimes if you can't grab that little thread, you use your tweezers to pull it up. There we go. Color number 4 is a placement stitch for our vinyl for the apple. And now we're going to change our thread to 1902, and we're going to put a layer of our vinyl down and a layer of our topper. Once color number 6 is complete, you can remove the excess vinyl and the topper. So I'm just going to trim. I'm going to leave about just a wee bit less than 1/8 of an inch around this apple. And then I'm going to turn on my thread away feature and change my bobbin to green and thread up the machine with the green. Once this little guy is done, We have to change our bobbin back because now we're working with some light stuff. We're gonna stitch a wee bit right in the leaf, then we're gonna stitch the stem. Then we've got some other work to do. So I've changed the color to white, which is my construction stitch, and I'm gonna take my fused vinyl lining piece that's 6 by 6 inches, which is the lining for the front of the bag. And I'm gonna place this so that it overlaps, or basically it's right on top of my white fabric that we embroidered on, like this. And then once again, using some tape to hold everything in place so it doesn't wiggle around on me. Okay, so you remove your work from the machine, but you keep it in the hoop like this, and you can finger press your vinyl down just like that, or you can take your peeled off paper from your vinyl and give it just a little bit of a crease with the iron, but not for too long. So just a little bit like that. Now, remember how we had that slit in our stabilizer? We're going to take this and flip it through that hole. Bring it to the back, folding it right over on that seam. And now I'm going to use some of my expert tape to tape things into place and get everything nice and flat. We're ready for color 11, and color 11 is going to be stitched with this white thread, and all this is going to do is make sure that my back lining is stitched into position. Color number 12 is the same thread, but this time it's the lining placement line. Now this piece, you know, I keep doing this again and again, and it works every time. But holy moly, this seems weird. So I'm gonna take my vinyl covered lining, and it goes shiny side up, pretty side up, lining, pretty side up, okay? So we're gonna place that right into position so it covers everything. Okay, now let's stitch it down. Now, the next color, which is color number 14, is going to be done in white, and it's the answer to that joke. Why did the apple stop running? He ran out of juice. All right, so color number 15 Color number 15 stitches down the snap placement lines. And yes, we're gonna have to do a little bit of hand sewing to attach our snaps and to close up the bag when it's done. So we've removed this from the hoop again, and now I'm gonna take my tape off, and now we're gonna take the bottom of this and tuck it through this hole. And I'm bringing it around to the back like this. And I just have to trim just a little bit of threads that were in my way over here, I think. Let's see. Yeah, just right there. All right, so now you get it going in this direction, but temporarily we have to move this up out of the way right here. So I'm just pulling it. This is going to be tacked down here in another step, but this step we have to keep our fabric or the lining, the vinyl coated vinyl to the top of the hoop. Okay, so for color number 16, we're going to be taking the outer bag on the other side, the back part of our sandwich bag, and we're going to place it over, and I'm just going to clip my hoop off for a second. I'm going to line it right up with my previous lining material. Now this time, because the piece is larger, it needs to also cover that red area. So now let's clip the hoop back on the machine and stitch color number 16 with that same white thread. Okay, so I've removed this from the hoop. This is the right side of the hoop right now, and it just stitched, and you saw it just stitch that bottom piece like this. So we're going to turn this over. We're going to remove our tape, and then we're going to take this piece and place it down this way and tape this down. And this is the wrong side of our lining. And I reuse my tape if possible. If it's lost its stickiness, then you need to get a new piece. There we go. Color number 17 is the final stitch outline. So we're just going to stitch this. Okay, so all the embroidery is finished. So now it's just a matter of trimming it, turning it, adding our snaps, and doing a little bit of hand sewing. So I'm taking this out of the hoop, and now a very important step at this point is to not really take anything else off of here until we've trimmed. So I'm going to trim it per the instructions, which is cutting 1/4 inch away from our final stitched line. Now, to get the bulk reduced, it is important to trim your little corner pieces. Now we're going to turn the bag through this opening, and fair warning, it is gonna make your lining really crinkly. And this might take me a while just because I'm really bad at turning things. And because this gets so crinkly, that's why it's important when I was telling you how I like to fuse the vinyl on once, let it cool, then fuse it again. It just prevents it from separating from the vinyl. So as you're pressing and you're using like a little blunt piece, right? You're gonna poke the flap of your sandwich bag open. And then we're going to just tuck this under and tuck this under, like so. And before we turn anything else inside out, and before we press, we're going to do some hand sewing, the little blind hem stitch like you would do to sew a binding on, right along the bottom of the bag. just there. Once you complete your hand sewing, you're gonna turn this right side out, exposing your embroidery. So now we just need to add our snaps there, and here and here. Once they're on there, you're gonna fold over your snap, make a little dot where it lands, and that's where you put the base of your snap. Same with here, and I'm not sure I did them all exactly the same, so that's why I'm using my pen. Perfect for some slices of apples, pears, I don't know, whatever kind of fruit you eat. I'm not a big fruit eater myself, so I figure some little cheese puffs can go in there, or some popcorn. Why did the apple stop running? He ran out of juice. Okay, well that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that you will for sure check out our Bernina of Naperville YouTube channel. It's easy. It's youtube.com/Bernina of Naperville, and there you can like, comment, and subscribe. Now, it's time to have a snack.